Today we'll take a look at a couple of other things you can do with some of these shapes. You could do this with any 3D shape. I'm just going to use this beginning part of the wall mount bracket. So a few of these things you probably have figured out already, but if I triple click on this shape, they all get selected. And right away it gives me a few of these arrows. I'm not sure if you've played with these yet, but they will let you slide things, right, left or right, up or down. Don't get confused by the idea that this arrow only points up, for example. I can drag it up for sure, but I can also drag it down. It's just pointing in the Z axis direction, right? So I've got X and Y axes as well. And I have these rotation or spin arrows as well. And of course you could begin to spin and then type in a number if you wanted an exact rotation, all right? So those are useful, and I think you can play with those a little bit. What's also here, though, that you may not have played with is this copy button. And it does just what you think it's going to do, right? It makes a copy of it, but you don't notice the copy until you start to drag an arrow. And it drags a copy of that. You can set a distance, or you could click copy again, and you can then get another copy of that. So as long as you keep clicking copy, you will get another version. In fact, the copy just stays on. So I'm just touching the arrow and continuing to bring a copy. And I could change directions at any point, kind of get the idea, right? If you select more than one of these, right? So if I long click up here, I have that copy option again, and I could bring up a whole set of those. I could bring a whole set this direction. I could bring a whole set back here. And you can see how that could quickly begin to help you if you were doing something that needed a lot of the same thing. Like, I don't know, if you're doing a restaurant, you do a bunch of tables in there. Or if you're doing a bunch of seats in an auditorium or something like that. You can think of other ways you would use that. Hit my back arrow and go back to just one. All right, so again, I will triple click. And this time I'm going to look over here at my tools, right? And I've got some more tools here. So let's pick this one that has kind of a box inside of a box. We'll tap on that. That's your scale tool. There's two versions of scale. If you click on it again, you can see there is the top option, which is uniform. And if I just come over here to my shape and grab this paddle, right, it makes the whole shape bigger or smaller, and it changes all the dimensions at the same time. That's what it means by uniform. So if it gets longer, it gets wider, the whole bit. The other option, non-uniform, just what you would expect, you can just make it wider. You can just make it longer. You can just make it taller, right? You can play with any of these. Like this paddle here would make it both taller and wider, but not longer. This paddle would be taller and longer, but not wider, right? So you can kind of control, you can kind of control which of those dimensions you want to scale, okay? So I'll undo again, go back to my basic shape. There we go. One more, I'll triple click it again. And I really like this next one. It's kind of fun to play with. Actually, I'm going to do two more. The one below scale is called linear pattern. So remember I did the copy a little bit ago. This is kind of a fast copy or a super copy. So I will go ahead and begin bringing one over. But notice it's got a quantity 3x here. I could change that to a 6x. And as I slide, it brings 6 of those, right? What if I decide, you know what? I didn't need 6. I needed 16. Just change the number, and you've got 16 of them. So this becomes a quick way to make a lot of copies. We can go 16 that way as well. And you can see how this could be a lot of fun to begin filling something in. You guys who were doing like a keyboard for a laptop, this might have been a nice way to do your keys. All right, you could certainly play with that. So that's the one that is called linear pattern. Linear pattern. And to finish this one, you have to hit either the check mark to say, yes, I like it, or the X to take it back to where it was. I'll hit the X. I'm going to add another couple shapes. I'm just going to put a couple of rectangles on the ground here for this next one. I think it's easier to show it if I do that. And I'll just draw 2 of them, and for each of them, I'm going to make them 3-dimensional. So just lift them up a little bit. Okay, so that's fine. I want to use the Align tool. So I'm going to triple-click one of these. And now I've got this tool right here. Looks like 2 walls side by side. One's black, one's gray, and it's got an arrow. So I'm going to click that. It gives me these grab points, right? There's, in this case, 9 of them on this face. But if I click this face, I get 9 there, or I get 9 there. And really, you just got to kind of play with this. You can grab one of these points. I'll grab this bottom right corner. And now it's saying, what would you like to align that to? And I'm going to go over here and grab one of these. Now, you don't always get the results you expect, so just go ahead and try it. And it brought those 2 points together, right? Just brought them together. If we spin it, we can see that they are touching. Now you've got this little, I don't even know what you'd call it, this little circle with a couple of shapes inside of it. If you click that, it gives you a different version of the same align, all right? So it kind of flips it around. What I also like about this tool is it gives you these slide arrows. So you could slide that shape, and it gives you snap points to kind of drop it in place. You could slide it up, same thing, or you can spin it, and that can be useful. Some of you are trying to do doors on a cabinet, for example. This might help you do an open door. All right. So again, you got to finish this one with a check mark or the X. I'll hit X. Again, one more time, triple click it. It's the tool that has the gray and black line or faces side by side with the arrow. Tap that. Pick. I don't really care, right? Just play with it. Remember, you can change the face that you're working on, right? So grab one of the points. I'll grab this bottom right point, or bottom left point, and I'll bring it, I don't know, I'll bring it to the bottom right over here. And again, it brought those points together. The circle with the 2 shapes inside lets you flip it around, and you can rotate as well. So today as you work, play with those new tools. Thank you.